Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have finally got to WrestleMania. A whole year of just long work, storylines, everything that you can think of has gotten us to this moment, and I'm just really pumped. In this video, we will be going over night one and night two. I will have the videos up as I'll have a night one, a night two, and then I'm gonna have one big one that's just put together. So yeah, we're just gonna go from there. Let's just start with the night one match card. I'm going to do predictions and we're going to hopefully get some of these right. So let's just start off. So we got the first match would be Jade Cargill versus Naomi. This has been a huge feud. They've been having so much back and forth. There's a lot of bad blood. And I feel like this match is going to be one of those matches that's going to cook because it's going to be just brutal. I really feel like they need to go after each other. And I do believe Naomi wins here. I think that's the only way that kind of makes this feud go a little bit longer after this. I feel like this is maybe a two, maybe even three PLE feud that you could get out of this because everybody's behind it, and like the match itself I think is going to be really solid too. But I think Naomi wins here. I think she gets her moment in WrestleMania to defeat Jade Cargill, who has her first match in WrestleMania. But I think, hey, if you're still going to lose in this really big feud, I think this is a place to do it. So I go with Naomi over here over Jade. Next up, we have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. It's a shame that Chad Gable won't make it to WrestleMania, but I feel like El Grande Americano is going to have a pretty decent showing here. I don't think this type of storyline is going to stay around for super long. I feel like El Grande Americano has been like a decent sidetrack and side quest to get us to this point, but I don't think it lasts. I think Rey Mysterio beats El Grande Americano and demasks him to show it's Chad Gable. I think that's just kind of the natural progression of this storyline. I'm fine with it. I think it overall has been a decent story to have and some side episodes of stuff, but I think after WrestleMania, that's all we need to see. Next up, we have the United States Championship, which will be LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I think this match is going to be one of those that could really honestly go either way, but I feel like for the foreseeable future, I think Jacob Fatu wins here. I think he wins. He could set up a match against Solo for the U.S. title, even up as soon as Backlash. I think Jacob Fatu having that title would be good. I think it's good they give it to him. I think LA Knight's done pretty decent on his second reign, and him chasing is always going to probably be the better storyline than him as champion. And I'm cool with it. This is the spot to drop it. I think Jacob wins here. Next up, we have the World Tag Team titles. It is the War Raiders versus the New Day. Now, the whole New Day turning and all of this stuff means nothing if they don't win here. Now, the only way I would take New Day losing is if Big E comes down there and stops them and makes them lose. Like he goes down there to try to turn them one more time back to the side of good and then ends up costing them, which makes them go even further heel and even maybe attack Big E or something afterwards. Unless I get that, I don't want it. I want the New Day to win here. I think they need it. I think it's not even like a want anymore. I think the War Raiders have done great. They've had a solid reign, and I feel like I'm good. I'm good with the reign being over. I'm good with the New Day winning here. So I think that's another championship that flips. Then we have the women's WWE Championship match, which is Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. This has been a decent feud. It's one of those matches where we kind of knew it was going to happen. I kind of felt Charlotte Flair was going to win the Royal Rumble. She was my pick, unfortunately, just because I was trying to pick to get it correct, but not really the one I wanted. But Charlotte Flair got it, and I think Tiffany Stratton's title reign can only be defined by her beating Charlotte Flair here. If she loses, I think it just makes that whole title run just be absolutely a dud. I don't know what you do with Tiffany Stratton after that. I mean, obviously you would want her to go back and try to earn one and like get it the old-fashioned way of just getting a title match and defeating her, but no, this has to be Tiffany Stratton beating Charlotte Flair, and it needs to be kind of a definitive match. I feel like they really did let Tiffany go all out and defeat Charlotte here, even if it's a quick match or just a good show of force. I think we need it. I think we need Tiffany to win here. I'm going with Tiffany retaining the title as the only championship match so far that I've fought it that way. So yeah, that could be good or bad. Next up, we have the World Heavyweight Championship, which is Gunther versus Jay. Honestly, when this feud started, I really thought it was going to be easy Gunther win. I didn't really see Jay winning. He was extremely over, but it felt like the crowd turned on him really fast after that. But I think with the build-up, with having Jimmy added to it and Jay having that extra edge, I think you give it to Jay here. I think really Jay should win. It's more of like maybe I want Jay to win, and I feel like it's a better choice to do it. I think because Jay obviously has put in a lot of work, and I think he'll do really good as champion. I don't feel him holding on to that title for a long time. So I feel like this is kind of what you do is you get him, you catch that lightning in the bottle, and you ride it until it runs out, and then have him drop the title. But I think Jay wins here. I feel like we get a lot of title changes on this night. Honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of title changes in general on this thing. I feel like some of them are stay, but I think other ones just kind of set up storylines for later on. But I think this is how we do it. Then we go to the main event, the triple threat match: Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. Um, this one honestly could go any way. I feel like in my heart and what feels like needs to be best for the WWE is Seth Rollins winning. CM Punk is extremely over. He's had great momentum. He already beat Rollins one on one. He has a lot that he can, claim. So he had a great feud with Drew McIntyre over the last year. So there's a lot that it works. I don't think CM Punk loses momentum. Obviously, Roman Reigns only wrestles 2 to 3 times a year, so if he loses here, I don't think it really changes anything for Roman. I think Seth has the most to lose and the most to gain here. I think you put Seth Rollins, he wins here. It could even obviously put him right back into that main event scene to go after either title and make that a good program. But if he loses here, I think that really cuts his momentum. So I'm going to go with Seth. I feel like Seth's the call. I do really think they're probably going to go with Roman. I don't know why, but I feel like Seth would be the best case, I think, for everything. And yeah, those are my night one predictions. Night one is pretty stacked. I think the best match also, I think, is going to be, let's see, the best match. I think is going to be, ooh, this is actually getting difficult. Like, best wrestling match, maybe it's going to be Rey Mysterio, El Grande Americano. I think the worst match, I think, is going to be the War Raiders and the New Day. I think it's just not going to have anything too crazy on it. I think it'd still be a solid match. All these matches are still WrestleMania worthy. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good for night one predictions. Don't turn it off now. We're gonna have a night two if you're on the longer video. If not, go to night two. I don't really know exactly how I'm doing this, but until next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys. Here we go with night two of WrestleMania predictions. This is probably the most stacked card that I've seen in WrestleMania, like recent history. I feel like, because this card definitely feels like the obviously it's night two. It feels bigger, better, and better with having the amount of main event talent that's in here. I think other than maybe like the Logan Paul match. I mean, even that match is still the name value of AJ Styles down there. I'm not a big fan of Logan Paul, but I feel like there's a lot that could be said about this WrestleMania, and I think night two definitely stands to be one of the better nights of all time. So let's just jump into it. We'll do our predictions. We start off with the match that I was just talking about: AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Honestly, I really feel like AJ Styles needs this win. I don't feel like it really matters what wins and losses for Logan Paul. He could literally go out there and lose every match and he still would be unpopular, and he could win every match and he still would be unpopular. So it doesn't really matter. I feel like AJ Styles needs this because what do you do after that losing to Logan Paul at WrestleMania? So I definitely think AJ needs it. Then we have the Sin City Street Fight, which is Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. It kind of just really depends, honestly, on this one, because if you want to just finish out this rivalry and it just be done and like no more, I think you easily just have Drew win. If you wanted to continue a little bit longer, I think you have Damian Priest win here to really set up maybe something crazier at Backlash, because you kind of got to think ahead that Backlash is so soon that you kind of have to have something that's not necessarily like random, but like it has to be some narrative thread, and a lot of the storylines that we do have are going to be gone. So I feel like for the most part, I think I go with Drew McIntyre winning here because I think they're going to end the rivalry. But I could see it really go either way. I don't think it's one of those that is any like clear cut. Then we have the Intercontinental Championship four-way match, which is Braun Breaker versus Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Finn Balor. This is a rare match where you have like a four men in it where each one has a case that they deserve the win. Because Braun Breaker's had one hell of a rookie year. Winning here at WrestleMania, at his first WrestleMania, it's going to be more to come from him. So I could easily see him winning. Dominic Mysterio has done great work over the last 2, 3 years. Inside the ring, outside the ring, everything that he's doing is really turning into a monster heel that is just the crowd hates, but like they hate him. And then you have Penta, who's the number one fan favorite, brand new superstar coming in. And I mean, you see that like you really want to capture that and give him that push. And then you have Finn Balor, who's the try and true, just good veteran, somebody you could put a title on, and that title is going to look good. I do believe out of the four, Finn Balor probably has like the least to like bring to the table for like a new run, but I think he also is probably the most desperate for a win. Now, the whole thing I think is going to be the implosion of the final straw of the Judgment Day, and I think that's going to be what is the catalyst to it because I don't think Mysterio and Balor will be able to work together, and I think Balor will try to pin Dom, and that will finally get it to Dom that he just needs to do his own thing, and then do his own thing with what maybe is the Judgment Day, what is maybe a different faction, whatever it is, but I think that's what Dom's future is, and I think Balor is going to be a single star after that, and then we could actually maybe see something different if he's a babyface or whatever he ends up doing. So I think this is one of those matches that's going to have a crazy ramifications for the rest of the year. So I'm going to go probably the best bet is not Mysterio, not Balor. And then it really comes down to Braun Breaker and Penta. I think you give it to Penta here. I think Braun Breaker will probably get the title back by SummerSlam or maybe even be in a different thing. But I feel like the Penta giving the title to Penta will really be one of those things that show AEW talent and free agents in general that you're going to get a good say and a good shake in the WWE. Obviously, we've seen that with Ricky Saints down in NXT. We've seen it with Ethan Page, and we've seen it with Jade Cargill. They've all been a title holder of some sort of title after less than a year being with the company. And I think this is going to be the case. I would not be surprised if we see Penta winning here. That's going to be my pick. Honestly, I'd be happy with any of them. It's going to be one of the most fun matches out of all of the matches because I'm going to be just happy either way because I think every single person who wins sets up a good storyline for Backlash and into the summer. So I think this is a very important match for the whole Intercontinental mid card title division. Next up is a women's tag team champions match. This probably has like the least steam because it's like kind of just all of a sudden it's the last match announced as of right now. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyrie. Um, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of different things. Now, I really do want Bayley and Lyra. That's my pick of like sentimental pick. But having Lyra as a double champion just doesn't really work because that's too much work for her. Unless she's really inclined that they're going to either pull the IC title off her very soon or something else. I really don't know if a double champion Lyra is the call here because the tag team division's already struggling enough and the women's mid card is on it's on life support to a certain extent, and I feel like pulling her to double duty unless she really can do it, I think might be not the call. But I guess we'll see. I'm going to pick Lyra and Bayley because I'm gonna go with who I want. I do believe the champions retain, but I'm gonna go with Lyra and Bayley just as my sentimental pick. Next up is the WWE Women's Champion Triple Threat: Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. This is going to be my match of the night easily. I'm gonna absolutely love all of this. I'm a big fan of all three women, so like this is a dream match, and I think this will be one of those matches that I think if you look at the entire card, this is what I'm gonna say is probably gonna be the best match, like in general. I think the Finn Balor, Penta, Dom, and Breaker will probably be pretty close up there, but I think this is going to be just the best match between the strength of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and the craziness of Io Sky. I think we can get a really amazing co-main event kind of thing because it should probably be on the match right before Cena and Rhodes, but this is going to be crazy. Now the pick who wins. Now there's a lot to be said here. I really believe that for story purposes, I feel like you have Io retain. I think Io as champion has shown amazing, like a lot of amazing times and amazing wrestling, and we haven't seen a babyface Io run in the WWE. We got it for the um, like we got the heel run last year with the WWE Championship, and now this is with the World Heavyweight Championship. So I think it's just very cool. Plus, at least with Io, it's kind of crazy that she has had the red and white belt in Stardom, and then both belts in the WWE. I really like that little stat line of it, and I really do want to see an actual title run from her that extends into the summer. So I think she needs to retain here. I obviously really big fan of Rhea Ripley too, so I wouldn't mind her winning. I think she has the least to win here. I think this has kind of been a whole learning experience for Rhea Ripley. And Bianca Belair would be a great champion and a really good person to put the belt on. But I think here, I think she has other story. I think they really should have it where Bianca wants to win and gonna win, but I think she's going to like boil over, like being this really nice face and being really upset about the Jade and Naomi thing. Like, I feel like that match should have like some type of brutality that it really makes Bianca like either come out or like make her like make a decision. And I think like she's going to like put that in the back of her mind and know that she wasn't like strong enough to win this triple threat and then turn heel, and then we have a heel Bianca that could eventually dethrone Io Sky later on. And I think that'd be a lot better match, and it should be a singles match against each other. So I feel like, that being said, I think that's why I just think Io should retain. Especially, it's kind of crazy. I think I'd put both women's titles retaining, and I think that's a little bit more difficult because I thought Rhea had the title. I thought she was going to be dropping it here, but she dropped it earlier, so it makes it, I guess, a little bit different. But we go to our main event, the main event of all WrestleMania, the undisputed WWE Championship, which is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. I feel like this match is going to be a kind of repeat of last year with a bunch of people at the end, but I think they're going to be a bunch of people that are going to go after Cody. I feel like there's some shenanigans that's going to happen with The Rock costing Cody the match here, because it's just what it goes. That's what happens. I feel like we could definitely see the biggest twist or something crazy happening on this match. I think this is going to be an iconic match, and I do believe John Cena is going to win. I feel like this is the time to let Cena win. Heel Cena with a championship would be crazy. It'd be a great first title run for Cody Rhodes to have over a year. It looked great, and then we get Cody back into, I need to get the title back, and eventually should be the one that defeats John Cena or Randy Orton or whatever. Yeah, but that is my prediction for night two. I'm not really sure what else is going to happen. I don't think this is going to have a huge surprise one. I think our biggest surprise is hopefully Randy Orton getting a match. I know there's a lot of open ends for that. He could go against Solo. There could be a million other things. I do really hope he gets a match. I was almost wanting to wait on this thing just because of that, but um, I just decided I need to do the predictions. So yeah, these have been my prediction videos. Like I said, I will have like one giant video together and then one of each part. So depending on what you're watching, you can check out night one or night two, or if you watch the whole video, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. WrestleMania has this whole like week or two going into it has been crazy. We've had double videos, we've had a lot of stuff, and we have daily videos after this and different trivia and reviews of shows. So if you like any of that, just don't forget to comment and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.